Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with here today with an article from Red State dated October 28th. And it says, new study confirms what the left denies, corporate media is just Democrat propaganda. And I bet you're probably saying to yourself right now, wow, Jason, totally didn't know that. But hey, at least we have a study now about it. But again, I always say that whenever I get a chance to crap on the media, I'm going to take that opportunity. And guess what we have here? It's an opportunity. I'm not cutting that out. So the author says, I've had trouble saying the term mainstream media like I used to because over the past decade, a real shift has occurred in the media space thanks to the internet. A streamer with a solid following can bring in numbers that the big corporate broadcasters can only dream of. More people watch popular streamers on Rumble for their news rather than various CNN shows, and good. Get rid of CNN. Says the corporate media, with its bottomless pits of cash, massive sound stages, armies of crewmen, and big-time names in television, are having to compete with a young man in his bedroom with a webcam and some cheap lighting. I find that both hilarious and a bit ironic. For ages, the corporate media has been looking down at the people, lying to them, and abusing them, and now they're being overtaken by them. But a part of that is still the corporate media's fault. They use their platforms to push obvious lies to the people, which was easy to get away with before humanity had the internet. Today, a lie can get around the world quickly, but the truth doesn't have to get its pants on anymore. It can destroy the lie right there in bed. For instance, X's Community Notes feature is a master at destroying false media narratives before they can truly get started, yet push they do. And the Community Notes was what I was thinking about as I was reading that last paragraph. So that's led to their ongoing downfall. Few actually trust the media anymore, according to recent studies, and good, you should not. It says, and while we all know this is the truth, hard evidence continues to come out that shows the corporate media is really just a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party. It's pure propaganda, not news. According to the Media Research Center, who I've done videos by before, is after analyzing the corporate news landscape for a time, MRC found that it set a new record in terms of lopsided coverage. Not only did it prop up Kamala Harris with positive news coverage by unforgivable amounts, it focused on painting Trump as the villain with negative news coverage even more. It says 1 week before Election Day, a new analysis from the Media Research Center finds that broadcast evening news coverage of the 2024 presidential race has been the most lopsided in history. Since July, ABC, CBS, and NBC have treated Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris to 78% positive coverage, while these same networks have pummeled former Republican President Donald Trump with 85% negative coverage. There's a C methodology explanation at the end of this post, and the article is actually linked. I believe that was it right here. Yep, that is actually it. So if you click on this Media Research Center link in the previous paragraph, it'll take you to it. And I find it funny that there's so much positive coverage of Kamala, because if you remember before she was installed as the candidate, like the press was talking about should Biden even have her on the ticket because she was dragging him down, and all of a sudden she's nominated and they're like, oh my god, she's the greatest thing in the world. Anyway, let's get back to this quote. It says, the difference in coverage between the two candidates is far greater than in 2016, when both Trump and then challenger Hillary Clinton received mostly negative coverage, and it was 91% negative for Trump and 79% negative for Clinton. It's even greater than in 2020, when Joe Biden was treated to 66% positive coverage versus 92% negative for Trump. So there's something to wow at, though not entirely surprising. This iteration of Harris is, after all, an entirely media-born creation. Without it, she would have been disqualified from the race before it even started, and it's entirely possible a primary would have been held after Biden was forced out. Of course, one has to wonder if Biden would have even been president without the corporate media too, or would have even been president. Probably applies to Biden as well. Says the MRC continues with some interesting details about the time spent. Says the main reason for the imbalance. Since July, the big three have swamped their audiences with more than 230 minutes of airtime, virtually all of it negative, about an array of personal controversies surrounding the former president, so Trump obviously, yet provided extremely light coverage or altogether ignored many controversies involving Vice President Harris. Instead, Harris's coverage has been larded, nice word there, with enthusiastic quotes from pro-Harris voters, creating a positive vibe for the Democrat even as network reporters criticize Trump themselves. It says, for this report, MRC analysts reviewed all 660 stories about the presidential campaign that aired on the ABC, CBS, or NBC evening newscast from July 21st, so the day President Biden ended his candidacy, through October 25th, including weekends. Total coverage added up to 24 hours, 15 minutes, almost evenly divided among the three networks. 8 hours, 20 minutes on NBC, 8 hours, 13 minutes on CBS, and 7 hours, 42 minutes on ABC. Almost as if in some way it was planned, if it's that close to being the same, because that's kind of weird. Does this put some of the reasoning leftists often use against Trump into context? You'll often hear from leftists how Trump is immoral and awful. Did you see that viral video of the woman who confronted another woman for having a Trump sign in her front yard? You can see her line of thinking and many people on the left who have this outlook on Trump. And I know of this video, but I haven't watched it, and I'm not going to play it now because I just don't care that much. So Harris has her own demons and scandals, and the media is very adamant that they're not talked about. It makes sense, because part of their argument for being the anti-Trump party is that they're the more moral figures in the room. Bullshit. As they're clearly not, but any talk about immoral behavior on the left is either painted as progressive and accepting or squelched completely. CNN has done this twice very recently. Once when Kevin O'Leary tried to bring up the fact that Harris wasn't nominated democratically, which is true, which is weird for a party that supposedly cherishes capital D democracy. And another when CNN contributor Scott Jennings tried to bring up Doug Emhoff's abuse of women. He brought that up in the CNN panel. I was like, oh my God, how dare you? And it was like, dude, this actually happened, and there's like multiple witnesses to it. So it says, final sentence, given all this, is it any surprise the media is losing its value to the American people? No, it's not at all, Mr. Author Guy, sir. Not even a little bit. And they should. They shouldn't have any trust. I mean, they just continue to lie over and over and over and over. And for some reason, they still have like their licenses and everything. There should be a law against this. Like, it's like, guys, it isn't that hard to tell the truth. And it's like, at this point, given that we have X, like, you can just go there and see what actually happened, okay? I mean, that already happened with, when I'm recording this, the whole Liz Cheney thing that CNN was reporting. Like, Donald Trump said that he was going to execute Liz Cheney. It's like, that's not what he said at all. And, like, this story was debunked before it really got off, but the left is still trying to, like, push it as an actual thing. Yeah, it's not. It was a lie. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Do you agree with this, that corporate media is just Democrat propaganda? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you soon. Bye.